Right, this will be the final question for the database task of October, November 2023. Now, this database will, of course, this question will need us to create another tabular report. We need to print it out in the end again. But this one will have its own query. And you can see that the query now needs to have action or adventure in the genre field. And then we need to have a rank that is 200 or less. And now in this particular field, we need to create a new one called the discount underscore pricing. And this will have a certain formula. And I hope that you know how to apply a formula or calculation in Microsoft Access. And then we need to format this field to display as currency. So we need to remember to do that in our design view later on. And you can see right here, when you see this particular point, that means we should start this one because we need to apply the certain field first, which is game underscore title, rank, genre, console, release year, game publisher, price, and then the last one that we created for the discount price. Then all of these will just be the tabular report, and the first three will be our query report. Now, we're going to head back to our Microsoft Access. This is where we left off for the previous question 21 question. And we're not going to use the same query again. We're going to go ahead and create a new query instead. So we're just going to go ahead and then we're just going to go on to the query design. I prefer to do this one. And then I am going to drag both of these tables together right here. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to pull all of these table to make it larger so that all of the fields can be seen. Now, the very first thing that we can see, and I hope this is quite okay for you to look at, and we're going to look at the third point, which is right here, game title. If you can't, I'm just going to make it a larger screen instead. We need to put game title, rank, genre, console name, release year, game publisher, price, and then discount price right at the end. So we're going to go back to Microsoft Access. The first one, if I can just place this on the bottom right, you can see it. Congratulations. So the first thing we're going to put is game underscore title. And then we're going to go second one, rank. Third one will be genre. Fourth will be the console underscore names, which is on the platforms table. And then after that, we need to go to the release underscore year, back to the first one. Then we have game publisher, last one, we price that we have on the table. Now, the last one, the discount price, is a question that we need to create. And this is the field discount underscore price, which is calculated at the runtime. And to calculate this one, this field will display the new price after a 5% discount has been applied. So you don't have to worry about how do you do this. They tell us how to do it mathematically for us already. So the formula is to simply just use the price multiplied by 95 and then divided by 100. And then we're going to format this as currency. So back to Microsoft Access right here, we can create a new field. And this field, it's been asked us to do. We got to make sure it is discount underscore price. And then to do the calculation, we need to separate it with a colon. And then when you separate this with a colon, we can then use the formula, which was price multiply by 95 and then divide it by 100. If you do so, press enter. You can see that the formula, let's extend that, and you can see that the formula, that field name will now be multiplied, and this will be the calculation that we have right here. And with that, if you want to confirm whether this is correct, we can go ahead and just go ahead and save this one. And this query name was supposedly to be, if I'm not mistaken, Top Entertainment Games. We're going to just go ahead and save this one. That's Top Entertainment Games query. So just place it there and then select OK. And then we save it, and then we do have the queries right there. And then what we want to do right now is get onto the data sheet wheel, and we'll be able to see that these discount price has been automatically calculated for us. But this does not look nice at all because we do have a lot of decimal places. So that goes to that question that we have to format this one into the display currency. So back into the Microsoft Access, I'm just going to go back to the design view. And this time, I want to make this to look like, I'm going to link to looks like to the formatting of a, I'm going to make sure that this looks like a, so to apply the currency format, all we need to do is to apply the property sheet. So my property sheet right now is not on the screen, so I'm going to select property sheet, and I'm going to make sure that I select the discount price first. I'm making sure that discount price is selected. Okay, so when like I'll put a like cursor right here in the middle, and then I'm going to make sure that the formatting right now right here at the property sheet. Then I'm going to select this as currency. And since currency only have 2 decimal places, I'm going to put in 2 decimal places, and that will display my discount price formatting nicely. So once that's done, I'm just going to go ahead, right click this. I'm going to just remove the property sheet so I have more spaces right there. And then I'm going to go back into the data sheet wheel. You can see that the discount pricing right now, it is now much more better to look at. And we have the formula totally calculated for us, the 5% discount applied for us. And that we are done with these points on the second and the third one. Now, we are not done with the query. We need to right now apply the conditions for genre and rank. Let's head back into the design view one more time, and then go on to the field where we have the genre. And then right here, the criteria genre, we can now apply it action or Avenger, because that was the criteria that we have. Once you finish typing this and then you press enter, then Microsoft Access will then put its own syntax with the text that you have. If you want to check whether or not action and adventure is being featured, just go ahead and right click and save that. And then go back to the datasheet view. You can now see that the genre only applies to action and adventure only. Now we're going to apply the last criteria, which is the rank, which is 200 or less. We can now apply that filter over at the rank section, and then we're going to put less than or equals to 200, and that will be the criteria you have. Once you place that, right click this, and then you head back to the datasheet view to confirm again whether the rank has now been applied 200 or less, which we do. We have 2 all the way to 200. You check this particular field column. And with that, we're basically done with the query that we can design already. And now it's time for us to create the tabular report. We're done with the first 3 query points, and now we're going to create our tabular report. So to create a tabular report, if you can remember, just go on ahead and select create, and then we're going to go ahead and select the report wizard. And this time we're going to use everything that we done for the query table. Just drag on every single column or fields that we want to use. You can just go ahead and select next, and all of these orders should be in the correct order that was required for the question. Let's go ahead and select next, next, next. And the question that says do not group any of the data, so we don't have to group it. And then we just select next. Make sure you keep this empty, or else if you make any changes here, your order will be changed. Just go on, select next, next, and then ensure that this one is this is where you need to take a look at the question again, because this question asks us to put it in a landscape format. We haven't done this yet. We're going to do this later on in the own design view page later on. We're going to apply this to landscape. So this one, landscape, we need to do a tabular report. So we've done that already, landscape, and then we fit everything on the page right there that's being checked. With that, we then apply the title once more again to top entertainment games. All right, so we have the report, and we're just going to head and select finish. And you'll be able to see this report in a landscape format. And of course, even though it's a landscape format, some of the few names are being overlapped. That means we need to do a little bit of manual changes later on. And some of these, I believe the text is also being overlapped too. So once before we close the print view, we're going to change that later. So I'm just going to go ahead and close the print preview. And I want to do this particular point where we can sort the data in the descending order of genre and ascending order of rank. So we can do so. We're currently in my Microsoft Access. We're currently at the design view. So my group and sort was already open. If you have not opened this one, just go ahead and open this, and then you have this. Don't do the group, but rather do the sort. So select the sort. The very first one is the descending order of genre. So we're going to change this from Z with Z on top because this will be descending. And then we're going to add on, no, we're not going to add on the last one. We're going to add on another sort because we need to have ascending order of rank. And then that will be from smallest to largest. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and right click and save this. And then we'll probably be able to see that the genre, it's been done with the descending order, which is adventure first, and then only actions will be shown later on. And then the rank should be an ascending order. Okay. As you can see, ascending order from Avenger rank right here, and then we have the ascending order after actions right there. All right, with that, you are able to continue with the next question, which is ensure that our top entertainment games title is large and fully visible. This is actually really straightforward and simple. We got to ensure that we're currently at the layout view, which we currently am. I'm going to select the title right at the top, go to home, and then increase this to a more reasonable font size, make it black so that it's easy in the printer and it's easy for the examiners to look at in whatever exams you're taking. And then this is actually done for our title. Now, the very next thing that we want to do is to ensure, before we move on to designing the rest of this particular calculates or label this, I want to adjust all of these headings so that, or the fields, so that every information are clear. Like I always like to do, it's that right here on the right side, I like to start on the right so that everything looks nice from the end. And I select the heading or the field for this one. I'm going to hold Control key on my keyboard so that these two can be select. If I don't press the Control key, you can see that every individually has been. All right, so by holding the Control key, I'm just going to adjust this. I'm going to pull this a little bit so that discount price can be seen. And I like to put this on the left hand side. If you like to put it in the right alignment, it's also up to you as well. So I'm going to make sure that the discount price looks nicer. And this particular pricing will be on left line. But let's adjust this one so that this is actually reasonable, clear, but the one at the most bottom cannot be seen. So I'm going to ensure that these are properly placed into its places. All right, everything right now looks clear. And for the game publisher right here, I think that's actually, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually good for now for every information. And I should leave the game publisher as it is. And then this one, release year, I'm going to put this on the left. So I like to put it on the left. If you don't like it, you can change that too. Now for this game publisher, this one, Advanced Nintendo, it's overlap. So, but I'm just going to put it right here until its release year. And I'm just going to extend this so that the very last one can be seen. All right, so something like that. And for the genre, same here. And Genre should be fine. I can just drag it all the way to the right and ensure that everything is nice. And then for the ranking, just drag it over here and then put this align this to the left. And we have about the same. All right, so we have the information quite similar right there. And then finally, the game title is where some of it is very long. We can just adjust it, extend this, and then everything looks way nice. Right now, all the information, at least right now, manually, everything looks neat and nothing overlap, nothing's hidden. And then you can go ahead and just right click and save this for now. And then we're going to go on to the criteria where it asks us to create and calculates the earliest release year and places just below the release year at the column end of the report. We can do so by just go and select go on to the design view first by selecting the view and then design. And right here at the release year, we can select this and we can go on to the report design and select total, right? This formula total, and then earliest release year will be the minimum. So you select that, and then we have the labels and formulas places right here at the report footer. We're just gonna go ahead, sorry, and save this, and then you'll be able to see that right at the bottom we have the minimum year place for us right here. The minimum year has already been shown to us already. So we're going to go back and to the question right here. It asks us to create a label, earliest game release, fully visible to the left of this value that we created right here. All right, on the left itself, we have to do this by going back to the design view. And then at the design view, we go to the report design and select the label and draw a nice little label just on the left of this. And then we type in earliest game, sorry, gonna call release. All right, with that, I'm just going to, once being typed, I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit. All right, don't really like that look that. I'm just gonna adjust this one a little bit and place it just the left of this value. And once I'm satisfied with it, I'm safe, go to the layout and check. Now this one doesn't really seem that it looks nice. I can just go back and adjust it again. So by going back into the report layout design, change this to the design view. That doesn't really look nice. So I'm just gonna adjust this with my keyboard and pull this down a little bit, and then we'll be able to see that text quite clear. And head back into the layout view. But where at the bottom, you can see that that looks a little bit nicer this now. Satisfied, just go on to the layout view and check how it looks like. So early games release left of this value, and that's basically it. All right, with that, you can now go and do the very last criteria by putting your center candidate number at the bottom of the page. So we're currently at the design view right here. To add in the candidate number, just make sure you are at the page footer rather in the report footer right here. Just go and select the label, put it somewhere in the middle of the page footer, and you just write down your name, candidate details, like for example, your center number, and then your candidate number as well. This is quite important because when you print it out, the examiners will like to refer to this details when they mark, and then just go ahead and adjust it to how you want it to be looked like. And then before you print, just go ahead and right click and save this, and then you preview it at the bottom of the page, and then the next page right here, all the details are correct. And with that, we will then look at the last criteria. Last but not least, in the question, it asks us to place in the evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate the earliest release years. Make sure that the formula is fully visible. And that's really, really easy, even though you finished printing already. We can just head back into the design view of this. We can close the print preview because we finished printing that thing. And we'll just go back to the design view. And if you want to, we can just simply just extend this a little bit so that we can see this. And then we're just gonna go ahead and just select the screenshot tool and go into our evidence folder, which is our Microsoft Word. If there's no step for you, just go ahead and just type out step 22, which is this is question 22, and then you just paste that candidate, and you'll be able to show that formula visibly that you have applied this into your evidence. With that, you're done, and we are completed for a database, and congratulations for finishing this thing. With that, thank you very much.